This is Irontrader. It is Sunday night, so I'm going to take a look here at Bitcoin, at gold, silver, crude oil, and natural gas. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation buy, selling stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Alrighty, here we have Bitcoin. Now, before we get started here, you can see here where a lot of things are going to start rallying up here today, very, very quickly. Okay, so silver looks like it's gonna rally up here. Gold is probably going to rally up here, and the big one is going to be crude oil. Okay, so again, crude oil is going to be a really big. We'll go over that now. Again, they closed so far that Straits of Hormuz, and believe me, that's not good. Okay, you got 20% of the oil coming across there, and that's just not good at all. Now the question is, how fast can they get this problem solved? How fast can they get, the whole situation, unwound and get back to a peace talk situation? Okay. Now, OPEC had their meeting here today, and what they said is they're going to add 137 million barrels a day. Well, they upped that now to 206 million barrels. But if you can't get that through the Straits of Hormuz, right now you got 150 tankers just sitting there docked. You've got to get it through there, to where it's got to be. Okay, so again, but then on the other side of the coin of this here, if this is solved real quickly, you could have a big pop and drop. We'll take a look at crude, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, first of all, we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin. Okay, now Bitcoin here, you can see here it's not really reacting a whole lot as of right now. Bitcoin is actually up a little bit here. Okay, so what we're looking here is we're looking for that 8-day at 66,472 level. That's going to be very, very key. We come to Friday's high. You're looking at 68,560, but this is the key level right there, 69,242. You got to get back above that. Then we can hit that top of that level, 65 level. We'll venture up here to 77,40. Then we have 71,690. We come up here at 72,760 level. And then we have 77,110, and we are going to have this gap all the way up here, 79,60, and then we're going to have up here at 81,210. That's your fill, and then we'll come up here 81,317. That is your 50 SMA here. But you got to get above your 821 day in order to hit that. Now, we have a consolidation here. You can see how this 8-day is just a sideways action. Okay, again, it has to curl right on up here. But what I don't like is see how that this waterfall on 21-day, the 50-day, and the 100 SMA here. Okay, so let's just see how this is going to shake out. But again, if we can get back above that, that's going to be your big target, your 21-day, and you got to get back above that. That's going to be very, very key. Now, if you look here in the past, we had this bull flag situation. Now we have pretty much the same scenario here, a bull flag situation. Okay, now if we start losing the bottom of that candle at 63,940, that would negate that bull pattern, and then we'd hit 65.90, and then we'll come down here to 62.480. Sorry about that. That would be 62.590, and then right down here 62.480, and then your retest there at 60,005. Now, if we lose that, then all we do is go to the weekly chart here. Makes life a lot easier. 58,849. That's what you're going to be looking for. If we lose that scenario there, we'll come right down here. 57,550. Then we have 54,545. And then 52,820, and then here's the big retest down here at 49,365. The reason this is so important is as we rallied up here, we put this top in, consolidated, and broke out. And then when it consolidated sideways, you notice that it held the top of that candle. See how nice that is? And then it just rallied up, held the 50-day, and then rallied up very, very nicely here. So that's going to be very, very key support. Now, if we lose that, we'll come right to the bottom here. You're looking at 42,340 level. We'll bring this price channel right across. You're looking at 38,540, and then we could come down here to the bottom of that candle. You're looking at 34,820, and we could come all the way down here and retest down at that 26,380 level again. But you have to lose that 60,005 and this 200-day in order to do that. So right now here, okay, what I'm doing is just trading this market because that's pretty much all it is. Even though we had a bull flag there, it didn't really pan out. We have another bull flag situation, but again, it didn't really pan out here. But I trade BITX for long and BIT there for the old short ski. Okay, so what we had here, we have an oversold condition, but now we're only sitting at 37. So this is not, overbought or oversold. And the green is over your red here, and the little bars are moving up here. So you got to be a little bit patient. But once we can get above that 8-day and 21-day, then I think we got a good shot at hitting that 50-day. But right now, this is just a trade. That's all what that is. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. Okay, I always look at gold and silver as like a fear factor situation. Now you can see here what we did on Friday. We made this nice high there of that 52.99. Now today we popped up with, so far we have it at indecision candle, but the market's been open 7 minutes here, so it's no big deal. So far we hit this 53.99 level. What we're looking for, if you look at the close here, okay, you're looking right there at that 54.10. Okay, 54.10 level, that's going to be next. And then we come up here at that 54.52, and then we have 54.80, then 56.26. That's going to be your big retest. Okay, so just bring and see how that price channel is coming down. That's going to be very, very strong resistance. Okay, so now on the downside, we have a gap. So you want to watch today's low here, 53.21, and then Friday's high, 52.99. Your gap, your fill, and then your key support is going to be that 8-day at 51.98 and your 21-day at 50 level. Okay, right now we are trending very up, a low, higher low, higher low, and higher low situation, but we do have an indecision candle kind of a situation. 62, that's not overbought or oversold. The green crossed your red. It just looks like it wants to go higher. The 21-day, 8-day never crossed that 21-day, and you can see how it held it very nicely. Now, even if it comes down to that 8-day, that's going to be very, very good support, and that could be a good buying opportunity here to take it higher. Okay, so basically what you want to watch is watch that 84.80 level. That's going to be very, very key. And then we can come right at the top of that candle right there, and then we want to watch that 56.26 level. That's going to be very, very critical. A breakout of that, you probably hit towards that 5,700, and you could rally as high as 6,000 with not a problem. Okay. All right. Here we have the silver. Now, silver, one of my favorite trades. I've been scalping the SLV. I'm long SLV, and I just think this is really good trade. It looks like it wants to go higher. Now you can see how the 8-day crossed the 50-day, crossed the 21-day, looking very, very nice. So even if it comes down to that 88.29 and holds that level, just like this held that 21-day, that could be the buying opportunity to take it higher. Now, today's high, we hit 97.30 level. Okay, so they say all we have to do is just look right here. What do we had? 96.73. Now, your next level that we're looking for is just the bottom of that candle right there at that 101 level. Okay, then we'll come right down to the bottom there. You're looking at 102.90, and then we'll come to the bottom here. This is going to be key, 106.61 level. Okay, now we get above that, and then right here, look at 110.40. We're looking at 113.55, and then we have what do we have there? 117.70, and then we're going to have 118.45 in your retest, 121.78 level. Okay, now this is a very, very bullish chart. Low, higher low, higher low. You're uptrending here, bottom left, upper right, very, very nice. And 59, plenty of room to run. The green crossed over your red, shows momentum to the upside kind of a situation. Any kind of pullback, I think, is a buying opportunity. So I am long, and I'm also trading it. So I'm 5,000 long SLV, and I'm trading 2,500. Okay, so that's how I trade the old silver, and I just trade with the SLV. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude oil. All right, here we have crude oil, your daily and your weekly chart. Okay, so Friday, what do? We had this nice green candle, and we closed there at 67.29. Okay, so we're looking right there, 67.28. We closed a penny above it. Now you can see we're gapped right up here. So far today, we hit 75.33. So what we do is we look at the weekly chart here. Okay, so basically what you're looking is that 200-day. What is that 200-day? 75.67. Okay, and what do we hit there so far today? We hit 75.33. That 200-day is going to be very, very critical. Okay, 75.67 level. Now, if we can rally above that, then we're going to hit this top of this candle here. That's 78.40. Okay, then we're going to come rally up here. What you got is 80.77 level, and then we'll venture up to the top there. 84.52. We'll come up here. 87.63, and then right here is the target at 95.03 level. Now, if you keep on rallying up here, we have a target up there at 97.66, okay? We'll come right up there at 101.88. We just bring these price channels right across. See how easy that is? We got a 114 level. We got there a 123.68, and then we have a big retest there at 130.50 level, okay? But right now, what you're really looking at is that 75.67. You got to get above that. That's the key. Now, here on the downside, we put this big gap in there. It's a pop and drop here. Now, for trading here, like if you're trading ETFs or stocks or anything, we can't really trade till 8 o'clock. So we'll see at 8 o'clock exactly how this is all going to shake out here. Now, we're watching the downside. You're looking at 71.04, and then we're going to be looking for Friday's high at 67.83. Okay, your gap and then your fill level, okay? Now, if that is lost here, this 8-day is going to be very critical, 66.92. 21-day at 65 level. We'll come to the bottom of the candle right there at 63.60. And then we're looking for this 200 SMA here. That's going to be key at 62.62. We lose that. You got the 50-day, and then we have the 100-day sitting there at 60.45. Now, what I really want to show you here is we just go always to the left of the chart. So you always hear me saying, always look to the past, because where it's going again, okay? So what we had here, we had this inverse head and shoulders pattern. See the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. I said when we hit this pattern, it plays out, you can hit that 200 mark right there. That's what we did. Now this, just remember, all of this here, all this noise, was the Iran-Israel situation, okay? So apparently these people don't learn, okay? They don't learn. They had all this nonsense here. That went all to hell. Now look how what this oil hit, 78.40, okay? The very next day, what did it hit? Okay, $64, okay? So you went down over $14 in basically 2 days, okay? $14 in 2 days is what you lost. And that could be the same thing here. Now just remember, the T-Man does not like high oil prices. So remember, OPEC is going to be adding 206,000 barrels per day to the market now, okay? Versus they were at 137, like they were thinking about. Now they're going to add 206,000 barrels per day, okay, onto the market. The key is getting that Straits of Hormuz all cleared out. Even though it's 80 miles long, 20% of all the oil flows through there. Otherwise, they could have to go all the way around the Horn, all the way to Africa. That's going to bring the cost right on up here. Remember, T-Man does not like high oil prices, so he's going to do whatever it takes to get these prices down and get this war back in control, okay? Now, he's basically setting precedents that we are not going to let Iran have any kind of a nuclear situation. If they do, as soon as they get some money, they're going to use it, just like they had here with Israel, okay? So now the sanctions were on when Biden was on, but Biden never enforced the sanctions. So they got their few billion dollars there, and first thing they do is they get weapons and they attack Israel, okay? So that's how you have to look at it, okay? There's never going to be peace in the Middle East, never, okay? You can have a little peace now, you can blow them off the map, you can do this, you can do that, and that all sounds good, okay? But there's never going to be peace. There's always going to be something else that's going to happen. That's why I like trading oil. Now remember, this site here is not political at all, okay? All we are here to do is to make money, okay? We have no feelings, we have no opinion. We just trade charts and we make money. That's the key, okay? So what we're watching here is right here is that 200-day, that's 75.68 now, okay? And then, again, your next level, right there, okay? It's going to be that 78.40. Next level, right there, 80.77, right there, okay? 84.52. Look how easy this is, 87.63, when you just got to just look to the past, 95.03, and then you venture all the way up until you hit your high up there. Now, again, if you get a scenario like this and they keep that Straits open, okay, and they're flooding the market here with another 206,000 barrels a day here, oil could come off and come off very, very hard. But in the meantime, I think you're not going to have like a one-day deal. It'll probably be like this here. Now, if you look at this, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days before oil collapsed from 78 down to 64. So this could be a whole week here worth of stuff, worth of trading here. So again, don't have any opinion. I do UCO for the long, SEO for the short. So let it all play out, okay? Because this is not a one-day situation. All right, let's take a look here now at natural gas. Alrighty, natural gas is trying to work it like a circus monkey. Now again, when you attach yourself to natural gas is why do not hold this short overnight, because you just never know, okay? So Friday we had that high of 289, the low of 281. So far today, we made that higher high at 294 and the low at 289, okay? So this is why I do not hold it. This is another reason right here. See how we had this contract roll, came right on down, and then it looked like it was rolling right back up. But all you have to do is look right to the left of the chart here and put that right across. You see that resistance? If you can't get through that, you're not going higher, okay? And look what happened the next day, came right on down. So I trade natural gas. UNG for long, KLD for the short. I rarely hold this overnight because you just never know. Okay, so now what we're watching is that 8-day at 293. Next level is going to be the 21-day at 318. And then we can come up here to the top of that candle at that 313. There's your gap. We look to the bottom there at 3.38. And then we'll be looking here for that 357 is going to be that 200-day. Above that, we have the 50-day, and then we have the 100-day sitting right there at 388. Okay, so again, when you're talking about a wartime situation and this and this and that kind of situation, what happens is a lot of times is you will have everything move at one time. Gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas. Even though there is plenty of supply here and you're in shoulder season, it can move up straight up. Okay, so never ever hold. I just trade this overnight. Okay, so on the downside here, while we're watching this Friday's low, 2.81. This is the key level here at 277. Okay, so that's what we want to watch is that 2.77. Now, right here, that's the thing. See that? How nicely that held? 277. Next level is going to be 265 and then 262. Remember, natural gas is in the shoulder season. But again, when you have a war situation, everything rallies. Gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas, platinum, palladium, everything's going to rise right on up here kind of a situation. But if they get this thing solved, okay, this is going to come down and retest that 262 level. Okay, so upside here, if you're trading it, watch that 8-day, watch that 21-day, and then watch that key 200 SMA here sitting right there at that 2.5, roughly 2.57. Okay, we get above that, you got the 50-day, and then we have the 100-day. So I'm going to see what the futures are here today when they open. Okay, we'll take a look at the futures and we'll see what happens when they open up here. Okay, again. Okay, just remember, these problems get solved. This could come down. All this could come down and come down extremely hard. Okay, let's take a look here now at the NASDAQ futures, the NQ. Alrighty, this is the NASDAQ futures. Here we have the NQ. Okay, so the NQ right now is down about 222 level. Okay, so what we're looking for here on the downside, I've been calling for a correction of 5 to 10%. Okay, now, you know, who knows? This could be the situation that takes it down. I mean, we don't know that. But if you look at here, how we made that 26,399 level, we come up here, we made 26,349, okay? So what we had here is a double top situation. So always take a look at those patterns. Then it came down to we have sideways consolidation, but you notice that I just can't get through that 100-day and that 200-day to crack up any higher, okay? And now we're below all the simple moving averages except for the 200-day. So what I'm looking for is today's low so far we hit was 24,635. Next to the line is going to be right there at 24,449. And then we'll be looking for that 200-day at 24,54 level. Now, again, if we lose that, here's going to be your target right here is going to be that 23,904 level. Okay, then we could venture all the way right down to there to 23.25. Okay, so again, always take a look at it and see what the futures are doing. It has to hold that 200-day. That's going to be very, very key. Now you can see here how we had that V bottom, ran up, stair stepping, and then what do we have here? Just nothing but consolidation. Okay, all these stocks here, all the good ones, Nvidia, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Palantir, all these had just blowout numbers, and what happened? Nothing. Everything sold off. Okay, that's a red flag. So always look at that. So whether we get that big correction like what I think we're going to get here, we don't know. But if you look at a seasonality chart, if you look at the Dow, the S&P, the Nasdaq, they all look the same. You can go to equityclock.com, go on my playlist, whatever you want to do, whatever easiest for you. They all show the month of March is a down month. Okay, but it's also a buying opportunity. So look for trades that you can buy, and then we start April, May, and go into the summer, okay, situation and an upswing, okay? So never look at it as a negative. Always look at it as, hey, this is giving you the opportunity to buy a lot of the stuff that I want to buy on the cheap. That's how you look at it. Okay, I will be back here tomorrow morning, and we'll do it all over again. And just remember, okay, no opinion, no feelings, trade the charts.